G'day mate, what's up? I watched Kambosos versus Maxi Hughes today. Actually paid $40 for it in Australia. So let's break it down round by round. I thought it was actually a good fight. And to start with, I thought those odds of Maxi Hughes at $4.30 or 4.3 on Betfair, I thought that was a bloody good deal, eh? Because I had a feeling he was going to do well in the fight. So I thought those odds were juicy. Kambosos paying odds of 1.34. And a draw odds of 13, which I thought, yeah, like usually you see fights, most fights the draw would be paying about odds of 26. So the draw was odds of 13. So I thought that was indicated that the public were thinking it was going to be a close fight, but Maxi Hughes's price was still out at $4.30, so I thought that was real juicy. There you go. And then as the fight progressed, towards the end of the fight, just after the fight, the live odds on Betfair had pretty much even right up. So basically, Maxi Hughes and Kambosos were sitting at about $2. There wasn't much money in the market. There never is in live play. But their odds were paying about the same: $2 for Maxi Hughes, $2.06 for Kambosos, with a lay price of 3 and lay price of 2.86 on Maxi Hughes. So somebody actually come in while the fight was being tallied and took a chunk out of the price too. The public are right most of the time. There's a reason why the public are betting on Maxi Hughes. It's because the public think he won the fight. And everybody thinks he won the fight, but are we actually looking through rose-coloured glasses? That's the question that we've got to ask ourselves here, you know what I mean? The long shot, are we wanting them to win? Are we seeing more than what we actually seeing? That's the question that we have to ask ourselves. Usually people don't sympathise with their money either. So that's sort of a good indication. Everyone on YouTube thinks that Maxi Hughes won the fight, and everybody that's betting also thinks Maxi Hughes won the fight. And I think Maxi Hughes won the fight too. The only people that really don't think that Maxi Hughes won the fight was Joseph Mason with his ridiculous score of 117, 111. And Gerald Ritter with his 115, 113 score for Kambosos, which I think Joseph Mason was a bit wild with his estimations. Gerald Ritter, maybe you could make a case for Kambosos winning the fight 115, 113. And Dave Sutherland with his 114, 114 score, you could make a case for that too. So I only think that one judge, Joseph Mason, his score was inaccurate, but the other judges, you could make a case for it, I think. But because I had the scores 116, 114 for Maxi Hughes, but I scored two 10-10 rounds I scored round 2 a 10-10 round, and I scored round 12 a 10-10 round. So yeah, if you were to give those 2 rounds to Kambosos, you've got a 114, 114, which is what Dave Sutherland has. Now let's break the fight down here. It was for an IBO World Championship, and it was an IBF Eliminator as well. It was in the lightweight division. Apparently, Maxi Hughes was ranked 9 in the IBF. Maxi Hughes was also the IBO World Champion, and Kambosos is ranked number 5 in the IBF. They're selling it as a title eliminator. But, that's pretty much bullshit. They call every fight an eliminator these days, and generally boxers don't want to fight unless it is an eliminator, and the public don't want to buy it unless it's an eliminator as well. So they just call, every top 15 fight an eliminator, basically. It's a sales gimmick. It's, you can't call it a title fight. Well, that's the thing. It is a title fight, but that's a stupid thing. But anyway, I think the IBO will be recognised at some point. Alexander Usyk has an IBO World Championship. Kambosos now has one. It's floating around. They're pushing the title out there. That's what I'm trying to say, you know what I mean? And it will become legitimate over time. Let's break the fight down round by round. Round 1, I thought Kambosos was aggressive but not landing, and he got out jabbed. Maxi Hughes was landing his jab and he was countering to the body upstairs. Maxi Hughes won that round 10-9. Round 2, I have it a 10-10 round. Kambosos was landing successful power shots upstairs. Maxi was countering and trading and nearly landed a knockout overhand left, and he was working his uppercut in round 2. But I'll give it a 10-10 round. It was a well contested round. Round 3, I give Maxi Hughes the round 10-9. Kambosos doing nothing. Maxi was countering, landing multiple uppercuts upstairs. He was looking good, landing powerful uppercuts to the body and head. Round 4, I give to Maxi Hughes 10-9. It was similar to round 4, just a little bit less action. Round 4, Kambosos couldn't work Maxi Hughes out, and he was looking around all over the place. It was like, Maxi Hughes was the Matrix. Round 5, I give it to Maxi Hughes 10-9. I thought Kambosos was landing, he was starting to land some power shots, and he got cut. In round 5, Maxi stunned Kambosos, and he went in for the kill. He went looking for it, but then Maxi Hughes realised Kambosos was not stunned, and he sort of backed off. But there was a second there where Maxi was actually trying to finish him off, I thought. But I give round 5 10-9 to Maxi Hughes. Round 6, the first round I have for Kambosos. He was starting to rally with energy. Maxi Hughes gets cut from a headbutt. Round 7, I give it to Kambosos. Maxi Hughes in round 7 was looking loose. He didn't look like he had much energy left, and he threw the least punches that he threw of any round throughout the fight in that round, I think. Round 8, Kambosos was boring and underwhelming. Maxi Hughes won the round 10-9. Maxi Hughes returned to his tactics earlier, looked like he was getting a second win, and landed an elbow. There you go. Round 9, Kambosos not looking desperate. He's not looking at the body. He's not looking keen. Maxi Hughes still landing, working his uppercut the whole show. Round 10, Kambosos starting to dominate. Round 10, I thought Kambosos won. He was starting to dominate, but Maxi Hughes was still landing his lefts. Round 11, I give to Maxi Hughes 10-9. Round 12, I thought it was a 10-10 round, but there wasn't much going on in round 11 and 12 because I think the fight was fizzing out by then. And generally, I think Maxi Hughes and Kambosos had basically fought their fight, you know what I mean? Their championship rounds were earlier on in the fight. It was a very tense contest, and they basically just used all their energy up, and they didn't have much more to give, I don't think, to tell you the truth, you know what I mean? But, generally, I think the fight, it ended underwhelmingly, and the fact that Kambosos got the win, I think that's why everybody is saying that the fight was shit. But I think it was actually a pretty good fight, sort of thing. Yeah, it was a closely contested fight. I just think Maxi Hughes had more variety in his shots. Yeah, and he looked generally better. Kambosos just, really didn't look very powerful at all. He didn't look energetic. He didn't look keen. He looked underwhelming. And he was just really wasn't even headhunting. He was just he wasn't going to the Kambosos was not throwing body shots, but it wasn't even really powerful what he was throwing upstairs either. I don't really he had know where he's going to go with this. Well, we do know where he's going to go with it, but where Top Rank are going to send it, and that's they're going to give him the Lomachenko fight now because he's got the strap, and Lomachenko he's going to want to crack at the strap, so. That's going to be the next move from Top Rank. And considering this is a Top Rank show, this is what Top Rank paid for. They paid to rip Maxi Hughes off pretty much. That's what happens. It's Kambosos' show. Maxi Hughes come over there, you know what I mean? And he probably needed a knockout, obviously, if he was going to get the win, because there wasn't too much more that he could do. He pretty much fought the best fight that he could. Left it all out there, and that's what happened, pretty much. But I thought it was a close fight. I had Maxi Hughes winning 116-114. I've got the two 10-10 rounds in round 2 and round 12. Yeah, I can. I do think maybe we might be looking through rose-coloured glasses. Maybe the punch stats were pretty even. I think the punch stats were 98 punches for Maxi Hughes and 90 punches for Kambosos. Yeah, the punch stats are interesting. Kambosos landed 90 total punches and Maxi Hughes landed 98. Each fighter has landed less than 100 punches throughout the fight. Total jabs 45 for Maxi Hughes, 25 for Kambosos. Total power punches 65 for Kambosos, 53 for Hughes. So Kambosos he's actually landed more power shots. So that's what I mean, and that's sort of what I'm trying to explain to you. Are we looking at the fight right, or are we just hoping the long shot is going to win? Because that's what people do. They back the person that's, or the horse that's going to that's least favourite. You know what I mean? Hoping for hoping for that fairy tale, and that's what we're all maybe wanting, that fairy tale for Maxi Hughes. But I feel that Maxi Hughes won the fight, a very close fight, I thought.